out of Washington. I'm sorry.
Really?
I
What do you
don't.
think's going on?
I don't know. Maybe somebody will decide that they need a running mate next time around.
Oh, interesting.
I don't
Looking
know.
down the road a ways. She's
I-
been talked about that before.
She has.
On the other hand, I think if she had run again, she was going to be a primo Tea Party, obsession. I think she would have had a conservative Republican primary challenger, and I think if you tried to put her on a national ticket, a lot of people would say, "Hey, wait a minute, Republicans, this is exactly what we just finished telling you, not to do." Because she's very kind of inside the Beltway, in her outlook, her attitude.
She's
She's become of Washington, I think, more than of Texas.
But she's well known and she's qualified.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. Well, and I guess that's the dilemma now in our politics because we are very dissatisfied with quote unquote Washington politicians, and for good reason. But it might also be the case that we devalue experience when we might want some of that or need some of that.
Can't she make a lot more money as a lobbyist, though? That's
Lord.
what they do, is they go
Lord,
to being
yeah.
a lobbyist right after they're not elected.
She'll be fine.
I think she'll be okay.
She won't be clipping coupons. All right. Well, they say that Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst is the favorite among the many this horde of Republicans. It'll be like that movie, The 300. But then if he goes, then that sets up another chain reaction of people that want to move up to be lieutenant governor, and so it's going to be just a big, frenzy in politics. I love it.
Yes.
The more chaos, the better for my business. and Yami, you too. We want as much chaos and confusion in politics as we can possibly have.
Thank you.
All right. Well, when they get back to business in Washington, when they finish putting in a sneeze shield around the House gallery and they figure out the 1,000-foot thing, they're going to be voting on the repeal of Obamacare. But what's also interesting is this week we passed the halfway mark in states whose attorneys general are suing to stop Obamacare. We now have half the states suing. That, to me, is almost more telling than the Republicans in Congress wanting to stage what is basically a symbolic vote. It's not going to go anywhere. There's got to be some reason why the states, who are governed by both Republicans and Democrats, are saying, hold on, we cannot have this, right?
Yeah, I don't know why the Republicans don't leave it to the states. They could just let them. It's going to go through. I think probably they'll win the states and just let it be a state thing instead of a federal thing, and then the Republicans just go on with things that are just as important as.
Will this debate be different now, Yami, because of what happened in Tucson? Should it be?
It should be. I think to a point, we kind of, like what Nico was saying, we got to watch what we're talking about and the way that we fight. And, what happened to play nice? My mom always used to say, play nice. Why are we screaming at each other instead of sitting down and talking? Nobody's really listening to what's going on. And there's people in between that do need help. But is this the type of help that we needed? Or is it going to make it all worse?
Well, and to that point, it seems to me that whenever the debate gets more heated or fervent, it's because the stakes are higher. If this is a high watermark in our history for political debate and rancor, and I don't know if it really is or not, because when you look back, we had members of Congress physically attacking each other. We had sitting presidents libeled and slandered in ways that are unimaginable now. I'm not sure that this is the worst of times, but even if it is, isn't it because the stakes are higher? This healthcare bill is a major step in the balance between the rights of people and the power of government to reorganize the economy and redistribute wealth. And I don't know. I think the reason emotions are high is because people sense that this is very important. We're not playing. It isn't a game now. And when you have half the states suing the federal government, stop and think about that for a minute. That is a major standoff. That's the states versus the national government. That's the last time we had something like that. We had a civil war.
If you have half the states suing, just in general, we'll talk about in general. If you're the federal government and you have half the states suing you, I think you need to sit down and just think to yourself, okay, what are we doing that's causing half of the people that we're supposed to be representing to be unhappy with us and to sue us? And I think that should cause them to sit down and rethink what they're doing or how they're doing it. Maybe that's more properly
And if you
said.
don't if that doesn't give you pause, then doesn't that almost sort of prove the point that you are more interested in ramming this through or retaining this victory as opposed to really solving, as Yami's saying, really solving instead of trying to help the people who need help, you're really intent on preserving this piece of legislation and this bragging right that you have.
Well, that's definitely a potential argument, but you have to also look at, are people just fighting for the sake of fighting? I mean, are politics involved in this? Obviously they are. I mean, are you fighting just because it's a Republican-Democrat thing, or are you fighting because you truly believe that it's not what's best for your constituents? And that's where people have to do a gut check and a soul check and, check themselves before anything else.
Are these individual cases, or is this a class action? Can states do class action against the government? Is it all together or all separate?
What the states are taking issue with, as you know, is the individual mandate for having health insurance. Let me ask you this question. If the government can order me to have health insurance, in other words, they're basically saying we can now not only regulate your actions under the Commerce Clause, we can regulate your inaction. Not having health insurance is not having done something, it's not doing something. It's choosing not to participate in something. If they can order me to do that, why can't they order me to exercise? Why can't they order me to go on a diet?
Stop smoking.
Is there really any limit? If you believe in the Obama argument, is there really any limit to what the government can order you to do in the name of, well, it's for the greater good, and if you don't do it, it's going to cost other people money? I mean, where's the limit on that?
It's a slippery slope. I think it's a potential domino effect, right?
I mean, it sounds ridiculous, I know, but I mean,
well,
in theory
actually,
it does.
It's not, because I was talking to somebody the other day. This goes to guns. She was saying, well, they should just outlaw the guns, the handguns. I said, well, she said nobody needs an AK-47. I said, well, you're probably right, but once they outlaw one, the ones who thinks we should have guns are going to say, okay, what's the next one? And the next one, like I said, the domino effect to where we're down to pea shooters. So same thing with this health care
why
thing.
couldn't the government order me to hire a private trainer? I mean, there's lots of good reasons to have one. It's engaging in commerce. It would accomplish an objective of me not adding to the roles of welfare or roles of fat or whatever roles we're talking about. I mean, in essence, I think we need to stop and ask the people who are defending this, okay, what is the limit? Since you don't feel limited in this instance, give us a hypothetical. What is something you could not order us to do? Where is the line going to be? Because I don't think there is one in their mind. I think this is currently what they want to accomplish, but what will it be next time? And I don't see any. As crazy as that private trainer thing sounds, I don't really see any difference. You're ordering me to engage in commerce with another party, even though in my belief I don't want to do that or I don't need to do that. You're ordering me to have insurance.
What's the argument for it? What's the position? Why? Why are they? Why? I mean, I'm asking.
What is the purpose of the individual mandate? Well, I think
they
they would say. I mean, it's hard for me to argue their argument, but I think they would say we can't. If healthy people opt out of these pools, then we're not going to have enough money in these pools to take care of people who need a lot of stuff or need a lot of care or let their health go or what have you. And for years we've heard, like with the motorcycle helmet argument, well, you're not just choosing for you. If you get into an accident and we have to put you in a hospital for a year and teach you how to talk and walk and move your arms again, somebody's going to have to pay for that. Therefore, we need you. We're going to require you to take some precautions. We're going to require you to have insurance, because otherwise you're just shifting your burden onto somebody else's shoulders. But the same thing could be said of being overweight. The same thing could be said of having too much cholesterol or blood sugar. I mean, is there anything they feel they could not do if they can order you to do this?
Well, and what's spooky too is we got 70 million of us baby boomers that are going to come into the system here pretty soon, and we're going to bankrupt the whole thing if they have a program that the government can't sustain. Being a caregiver, I had my mother was with WellMed, and she had her Medicare stuff, and I asked her doctor, I said, is this health program going to screw it up for me in 5 years? Because I'll be eligible for this thing. And they've done a very good job. She had very good health care. She had for a minimal price, and through AARP supplemental type thing. And he said, yeah, they could take the advantage thing away. It could kind of mess this up. And I said, wow, that's a lot of people to mess up a healthcare system on. So, and you know what? Even though they passed it, I have to tell Ms. Pelosi, I still don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't.
Because we were supposed to pass it, and then we could better understand it. I still don't really understand it.
That's right. They understand it for you.
Oh, good.
Stay 1,000 feet away. They'll
Go in the bubble.
They'll shout out the answers to you. We're going to come back with a lightning round as we wrap up Gang of Four next on KTSA.
I just can't understand it. I just can't understand it. I just don't understand it. And I must have got lost. I must have got lost.
It's 11:28 on News Talk 550 KTSA. Boy, is there anything Yami doesn't have on that phone? Everything we talk about, she pulls out that. What kind of phone is that?
iPhone
Is that
4.
Android? Oh, it's an iPhone. Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
Yes, I like
You really
it.
live on that thing,
I
right?
live on it.
Yeah.
I live on it. Everything's here. Everything. My
All
sources,
right.
everybody's in here.
What kind of phone do you have, Nico?
I have an iPhone, but
You
I
have
don't
an
have the
iPhone, too?
fancy one. I can barely text.
You can't even
so.
keep up with her.
No, I can't.
I'm impressed. Normally, our guests that have smartphones are on them the whole show, so you've actually, unless you have it under the counter, maybe?
It's right here.
Uh-huh.
But I want to give you my undivided
I
attention.
You just look like you're paying
right.
attention. All right, Stephen Stoli
I
has
still wear a watch
he has
to
a
tell what time it is.
Yeah, he has a 1986 brick phone. That you had to carry the battery pack in
87.
separately.
Come on.
All right, so this is phenomenal. Wouldn't you love to live in the state of Illinois? Illinois is one of those states that has spent itself into oblivion. I mean, like a California type situation. They're in deep, deep debt. They have just increased taxes for state taxpayers in the legislature this week. 66% increase. So hey, we spent all your money. We're really sorry. Now send in some more. How would you like to be that?
Ugh.
Doing that?
I'd move.
I could, yeah, I
would move.
How can you just sit back and let your legislative
That's
people
what I'm
do
saying.
that?
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
So that's, cautionary note. All right, politics
Northerners.
moves. Sometimes politics moves too fast. We make rash decisions. Sometimes it seems politics moves too slowly. The Canadian equivalent of the FCC, whatever they call it, who cares? It's Canada. This week has banned a song from being played in Canada because of its offensive lyrics. It uses the F word for gay people. We all on board with that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, this is a song from 1985.
Little faggot with an earring and a makeup. Yeah, buddy, that's his own thing.
Dire Straits,
Dire
number
Straits.
one hit, Money for Nothing. Remember, this was a staple on MTV.
Yeah, wasn't this the
Right?
first music video they played
Not
on
the
MTV?
first, but a very, very, it was huge on MTV, that gay bashing channel, MTV, that homophobic TV channel. 1985 to 2011. What have they been doing? Was it in committee? I mean, I don't get it.
Wow.
Unbelievable. So I don't know. Do you have to forget that you heard it all those years too, or I know they can't play it from now on, but
They played it this whole time?
they've been playing it this whole time.
Oh yeah, I remember.
They wasted their time on that?
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So was there a lawsuit,
There was
or was there?
I don't know what
how
led
did this?
to it, but apparently they don't rush into things up there in Canada. They really.
Well,
take
that's
their
the
time.
biggest thing they have to worry about. They're blessed. Maybe we
Yeah.
should move to Canada.
But I
Wow.
played this song when I was in music radio. We played it on adult radio. To tell you the truth, I didn't even realize at first that's what they were saying.
I didn't.
I was just thinking that when you brought that up, I was trying to go back and I
And
didn't
then
even
when I
realize
did
that word
realize
was there.
it, I thought, am I the only one that notices they're using that word? And they use it like 3 or 4 times in the song. And then I thought, well, nobody else seems to have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a person complain, never heard of a complaint. So MTV,
Hey,
MTV.
The dance floor at the clubs were full when that song would come on. I mean, everybody was dancing to that thing.
All right.